Thanks everyone for joining us. Obviously, this is the first ever Education on Air conference. We've had 46 different Hangouts today, or through the end of the day, there'll be 46, talking about education and technology. And I want to thank all the presenters for giving us their time and for all of you for joining us and watching. It sounds like some of you guys do have access to Hangouts on Air, but if you don't, it's a new technology that's going to allow you to broadcast and record Hangouts. And if you want to watch any of these sessions, you can just go to the presenters Google Plus page at the appointed time if you're watching the live screen right now. And you can also find a list of all the sessions and links to presenters Google Plus pages on the conference website, which is sites.google.com/site/EduOnAir. Again, that's sites.google.com/site/EduOnAir. And we'll also be posting that conference website into the comments below the video. So anyways, at this time, I'd like to introduce Bjorn Behrendt, host of the Google Weekly Podcast, which is part of edlisten.com network. He is a Google certified trainer, and he's also the IT coordinator and integration specialist at Mount St. Joseph Academy, which is in Rutland, Vermont. At the end of this Hangout, if you want to follow his work or contact him directly, he'd love for you to reach out to him, and you can do so by going, again, to that website, which is edlisten.com. All right, Bjorn, it's all yours.
It is? Yay. Welcome, everybody, for joining me on the Hangout here. We have a few people coming in. I'm hoping, I just kind of put this out to all my circles, so I'm hoping everybody who's coming into the Hangout is enjoying the EduOnAir conference. Keep in mind this is being broadcasted, and if you want, please just kind of mute your audio until you have a question. So, and without further ado, I'm going to get into the presentation. So I want to first of all thank everybody. So this is the web alternative, and some of my favorite applications. I started this presentation because I think 2 years ago or last year, the Chromebooks were announced. They weren't out yet, but they were announced that they were coming. And our school started a one-to-one program, and I really wanted to find out if we could if I could actually live in a web-only environment. And not only did I find just enough programs to actually be productive, I was very surprised by what was actually out there. Like you can do video editing, you can do graphics. The A right here on my logo for my Ask BJ website is actually, and this whole logo actually is created in a free web-based graphic editor, and that's one of the ones I plan on covering. Oh boy. So, going through, I don't want to hit play. So one of the things I want to first talk about is Google Chrome. And Google Chrome is a web browser. It's a lot like Internet Explorer or Firefox, but it's built specifically for Google Apps programs. And one of the first things I wanted to talk about with this is, bring up a window, is the fact that it has applications built right into it. So if you go to Apps and you have this Chrome Web Store, and you click on the Chrome Web Store, this store, it doesn't actually apps that are specifically built for Chrome. So you can access a lot of these tools from any browser. But what's really nice about this is it gives you a huge listing of web-based applications that you can just kind of add to your Chrome browser. If you have Chromebooks, you can choose which ones get enabled, which ones don't. And one of the nice things, it has a whole category on education. So if you go through here, these are all web-based applications that you can install. There's flashcards, there's typing programs, coloring programs, and you literally just kind of see which ones look interesting. You get the human body.
Hey Bjorn, I can't see your screen or your presentation.
That would help if I actually put it up.
There we go.
So let me back up a little bit here. I told you, this is my third one. They got me running a marathon here. So with the three browsers up there, you have Internet Explorer, Safari is another one, Firefox, and then Google Chrome. And opening Google Chrome. Now I'm having too many windows open. Is right here, and you have the web store. And this is the first place I suggest you looking for web-based applications. You can still get to the web store if you're not in Google Chrome, but I do recommend the browser. I think it's very well built. Close the. And like I said, there is several categories within this. I'm going to click on the education category. Many of these are actual web pages you can go straight to. I'm going to go to this human body one. And this asks you, do you say you want to add to Chrome? So if I just add to Chrome, what it'll do is it'll put, add. So let it put it in there. It will show up under these apps. If you notice that I kind of add a lot on my podcast that I do weekly, which is called the Google Weekly Podcast, I usually highlight one app a week from the Chrome Web Store. So mine has quite a few listed under there. But here's the Bio Digital Human. And if I could click on this one, notice how it just goes to a website. You can go to this website in other ones, but it actually adds a nice little app or clickable button, and you can reorganize those. So that is the very first place that I suggest people looking for web applications. View options, check out the video. I'm not. Maybe we'll look at this in a little bit. Actually, let me view options. Firefox. This is not one of the ones I had planned to do, so I don't know it off the top of my head how to get it open. Check out the video. Okay, so, but there are plenty of tools and programs you can put into there. If you're in the Hangout and you just joined, hit the mute button so we're getting a little bit of feedback there. And moving on, so some of the other ones other ways to look at some. Let me look at some of the popular web apps here. So some of my favorite web apps that I have had from here are Evernote, 3D Tin, PBS Kids, GraphLink, Prezi, and of course. So I want to show some of the other ones that I have had. Let me show my web page. So many of the websites that I have, if you go to askbj.net, other resources, and for the classroom, one of the things that I did is I created this Web 2.0 category. And there are many, many programs within this that I have found that do all types of different things that you can do that are strictly web-based. For example, let me show one of my favorites is called Sumo Paint. And that's going to be under graphics. And you notice I have Sumo Paint, plus there are several other ones within here. And Sumo Paint is the program I used for my graphics, for my logo. And it is a free application. They do have a paid version, and I felt, and I liked it enough that I actually did pay for the upgrade. I think it was like $30. But right in here, you can easily create a new image or upload one from your own. I'm going through, you can have different paintbrushes in here, paint bucket, you can do gradients. And what I thought was really made this one stand out is that you actually have the ability to add different layers. So I can add a layer. I'm going to add a text layer in here. Bjorn Behrendt. I can manipulate that separately. And I can also add layer effects. So if I want to do a drop shadow, right in there, I can change the color of the drop shadow. So it gives you many options from a web-based application that you can do. And if anybody in this comment stream or if you're in the comment stream or if you're in the Hangout and there's a specific application you're wondering about web, if there's a web version, please, by all means, let me know, and Michael will pass the word on. And I'm going to keep on going through and highlighting some of the other web applications that I've used and work with. So going through here, some of the other ones that I really like and use a lot is concept mapping. Is another Web 2.0 program, Web 2.0 category that I like to find applications for. So there are several of them in here, and I can just go through and have you take a quick look at a couple of these. So Bubble.us is another concept mapping software, and I'm going to let that open up. And I'm going to hit Start Brainstorming. Again, this can be run on a Chromebook. This can be run on any web application. It does not, all it needs is the domain name open. So I'm going to be able to start here and talk about web apps. And I could hit Tab again if I want to go over. Or it looks like Control Enter. If I want to go down. So that's Bubble.us, and that's a concept mapping software. Other concept mapping software that I have listed here, Mindomo. And I can try Mindomo. Some of these are available. Oops, I can log in with my Gmail account. So these are different concept mapping software. They have different ways of, some of them have some advantage over others, but it is a very cool way of getting concept maps out. You don't need to install Inspiration per se, which is the big paid commercial program. I think it has, Inspiration is a great program, but it's certainly not always the best option. What I don't like about Inspiration is it's not accessible. So with a lot of these web-based applications, they're accessible for the student whether they're at home, whether they're at school. The teacher can put those in right away. So this is why I've been pushing for web applications. Some of them are subscription, and I think that's fine, but I want to at least make them accessible for the student to use on their own time. One of my favorite actual concept map software is part of the Google Apps course suite, and that's Google Draw. So with Google Draw, why is that going up and up? Oops. Well, I don't have it. I didn't open it up. But Google Draw is one of the core app suites, and that's one of the ones that I use a lot, less for drawing and more for actual concept mapping. And obviously, I have a lot of ones. Another one that I use quite a bit, there's a math program, and that's GeoGebra. And there are some, this is going to be good for those math people who are looking for a way to plot graphs and things like that. It says download, and I'm pretty sure if I wait a second, there's a start. GeoDraba is a program that you can either download to the computer and install, or it also does have a web start ability with it. So there's the web start, and I'm going to click start. It has a little tiny file that you download, so I'm not 100% positive this will run on the Chromebooks, but it does run on, no, it's Java, so it won't run on the Chromebooks, but it does still run on the web and still accessible from anywhere. The student at home can use this program just as easily as they were. So a teacher can assign work to be done in GeoDraba, knowing that the student would have access to this at home. So here's the little program in here, and that the student would have access to this at home. Whoa, that was a delayed one. F equals X. Oh, is it squared? I can plot something. This would help if I actually knew a math equation. But within this program, you have a lot of different functions you can do. I've showed this to a couple math teachers, and they liked what they were able to do. I'm the tech guy, so it's not always that I know of the programs. I can evaluate whether they're worth telling my teacher or not. And this is definitely one of the ones that I would encourage you to show your math teachers or anyone who's doing geometry for plotting. And there's many import tools, and this is one of the better applications that I've seen out there. It's for math. So moving on.
Hey Bjorn, it's Mike. I've got a couple questions about
math, Hey,
can
Mike.
you hear me, Bjorn?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's a couple things have come up about video.
Wait a minute, I lost you.
A couple things have come up about video uploading and editing. Do you have any apps that you like to use for that?
There is one, and it changed, and I'm looking for it right now. Is it WeVideo? WeVideo.
So Mike Swanson was asking about that, and I think specifically with the Chromebook. And while you're looking for that, yeah, I know WeVideo is a popular one within schools, as well as there's another one, Stupaflix, but I think it might cost money, as well as a lot of schools use YouTube to edit and upload.
Yeah, I do, surprisingly, and I'll show, the YouTube one is the one I use probably the most now. WeVideo is a web-based application, and I wonder if I can sign in. And I remember the first time I was playing with this, I was actually in New York City at the Google conference on Chromebooks. And I just heard about it, and I was sitting there at the conference with their Chromebooks signed in, editing videos. So I thought it was one of the cooler things right there. And free features business WeVideo, sign in. Thought I signed in. I will have to say that what you have to do, support follow us, is you'll actually have to upload the videos. So you'll have to make the videos separately, upload them. You have to wait for them to upload, so especially at the size. WeVideo does not want to log me in, does it? Well, try it this way. But what I've been doing with my students is actually been using YouTube. And let's try this again. Thank goodness for incognito window. Incognito window, which is what I opened up here, will open up a new window as if you had the entire browser closed and cleared all the cache. So a lot of times when you're working with things, opening up an incognito window might help out with testing. So this is the Wii video. I've only used it that one day at that event. So I can't really say I can master how this works, or I've seen it really in production with students. But I was playing with it on a Chromebook, uploading videos, and working with things. So it does look like it has some layers in there. It looks like it has a video producer in here. The Wii Video website did list some different pricing plans that I had, and it looks like it to be like mostly around the type of storage. So we have 1 gig, 10 gig, 50 gigs, 100 gigs. And a lot of these companies that have the pricing plans, if you contact them, they do have educational pricing. So this being an educational website conference, that is something you always want to ask for, and don't necessarily go by the pricing they have straight up front. So that is video editing. And also along the same lines of video editing, let's take a look quickly at YouTube. So I'm going to go to YouTube. And I do this with my students quite a bit. And I will require them to log in. And if you click Upload, one of the options is you can record from webcam. I'm not going to click it now because I have a feeling it's going to crash the Hangout if I do. But it allows you to easily record your webcam, record a conversation. My Spanish teacher was using this. So she had them, for homework, speak something, and she was using YouTube for them to capture it. And they all had netbooks, so they were able to capture their voice and their video. They set it to be private, so it wasn't shared publicly. But it was a great way to actually get recorded video from the students. Which brings me to one of my other favorite things is screen recording. I know a lot of people use Jing, and for me I found that I wound up using a web-based application. So rather than installing an application, there are several that you can use that are solely on the web. And I have not found one that works with a Chromebook. Unfortunately, there's hacks and little ways, but I don't know of an actual screen recording software. Mike may know. Do you know, Mike? Do you know of anyone screen recording software for?
I don't know of any offhand. I'm sorry, I really don't. As fast as the apps are hitting the store, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there's one out there now.
There is one that can actually record, but it doesn't record audio, and it doesn't give you a place to post it. So it's very early beta, but it looks like it's going to be available. But that doesn't mean you can't start working with these things, and that doesn't mean that they don't make them accessible. Screenomatic is one of my favorites. There's another one out there called ScreenR. Both of these are very similar programs that will allow you to record your screen. It'll allow you to record the audio. Screenomatic actually will do a picture-in-picture. So, and it has the free one, does 15 minutes. You can publish to Google Docs with the Pro. That's a new one. It will publish automatically to YouTube. It will record the screen and it will record the webcam. So that is one of my favorite tools that I use quite a bit, both with students and with myself for getting information out. Unlike even, it's a one-stop shop. You record it, you publish it to YouTube. If you really want to edit it a little bit, YouTube does allow trimming, so you can cut off the beginning and cut off the end if you'd like. So that's Screenomatic. And I'm quickly going through some of the other ones. presentation tools. If you're into presentations, I know PowerPoint is popular, but I haven't used PowerPoint, and I don't even really like using it that much. But there are some other ones out there. Google obviously has theirs, which I think is a very simple, easy-to-use one. It's slide-based. I think there's another popular one, SlideRocket, which is part of the Google Apps Marketplace, which is kind of a more advanced web-based tool out there. And SlideRocket is nice in that if you have it enabled for your domain, so if you go through the Google Apps Marketplace, if you're an administrator and you enable this for your domain, first of all, it's free for education. So if you want to go through the educational market, so I'm going to go. And what this will do is it'll show up when you're in Google. It'll show up under the More menu. I don't know if I have it enabled under my account or not. But if you go to the Google Apps Marketplace, that's Digo. And you want to actually, there's two places that SlideRocket shows up, and there's two places that a lot of these programs show up. One is under like business tools and under the general tools, and that's for regular business accounts. If you're EDU, click on the EDU category, and then you want to search EDU. The reason why is there's actually different pricing if you enable it from the EDU category. You have to have an educational domain, so if I click Add It Now, it'll yell at me because I'm on my personal account. But it is free to education. And what's really cool also about it is with the new Google Drive is that now when you go to New and you go to Create right within Google, one of the options will be SlideRocket. So they have some new APIs now that you can create the SlideRocket and bring it right into the Google Drive, which is brand new. I haven't got to play with it, but that is a cool new feature. One of my favorite presentation tools, though, is something called Prezi. And the reason why I like Prezi is it's much different. It's actually not slide-based. It's kind of like you have a big table and you get to organize it out there. So I consider it almost more of a concept map that you get to present. Under the education, it does have an education version, which right now the public version right here allows you to be able to post them. The next version up allows you to make them private. So if you're going to be using this with students, which you can, you want to make sure you click on the Students and Teachers edition. And that makes it so that the free edition right here allows you to make your Prezis private, which does add like a little security thing. Now, so I'm going to actually log into Prezi so I can show you one of the ones that I have done. Sign up, log in. Now this is one of the programs that I'm really hoping shows up in the marketplace. So here is all the Prezis that I have done. You can see quite a few of them as I'm taking my master's class. I've been using Prezi mostly as the presentation software. Here's one on concept mapping. So we were talking about concept mapping before. Here's an actual presentation I did on it. And what you'll be able to see from here is if I hit, where's view? Is this view? More. Full screen. So if I go through here, notice how it moves. It really, you basically can create an organization and then move around however you want. It allows you to zoom back out, and if I want to talk about a different section, so if I want to go back over here and talk about these tools, I can. I can zoom in if I want to talk about some other programs. That's not a web-based program right there, but all of these over here are. So that is a presentation. and I'm going to hit close on that one. Slide Rocket, GeoGebra, and I have fire engines going on in my background here. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. So I'm going to put it out there. Is there any other applications that you want to see? I have a couple more under my belt that I don't mind showing. But
Hi, Bjorn. It's Mayor. I was wondering if you've got something that can do audio recording and editing on the order of like Audacity, perhaps, even if it's not sort of multi-track like Audacity is?
Avaria can do it. I haven't played with it too much because I'm a big Audacity fan, and with the podcast and everything, the web-based version just is not
restrictive, right? Avaria.
Here, I gotta remember how to spell it. I always mess up on how. Actually, if I go to the Google Apps Marketplace, that's one of the ones that are in the Google Apps Marketplace. And it's probably going to be, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the featured ones. So right here, Avaria. Again, this is a free application, and Avaria is a really nice website. And I'm going to go to their website instead of adding it in here. Because this is public, I'm trying my best not to show off my email and come up with something that I'm not supposed to show to the world.
I think you've got a shill for the software over there.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Avaria. And it's nice because it actually is available for several different programs. And it has several different ones within it. Widget, get the key, documentation. You know, I'm about to log in with my other account here because I know it's in there. Yeah. Incognito window. I have a test domain that I'm pretty sure I have this enabled that will be able to show this a little bit easier.
Do you know if that's Chromebook capable?
Yes, it is all HTML5.
Okay.
So if I go to More, as you can see, there's many tools within this one. Aviary is one of the first ones that are in there. And so it's a single sign-on with Google Apps. We have edited images, documents, vectors, more photos, but they also have the audio tool. So I'm just kind of opening that up. Hopefully it's not going to crash anything we're doing with the Hangout. But as you see, it has some multi-track ability within this. What happens if I hit record? Allow. Yep, let's check that out. Okay, I'm recording. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Computer is starting to crash. I think I've extended. Is my audio still working on the Hangout? Okay, good.
Yes.
So it's now saving the great. So it's now saving the audio right into Avaria. The thing with web-based programs, it has to kind of record them locally and then upload them, and it runs as an app. But I'm pretty sure that this is an HTML5 application designed specifically so that it could run on the Chromebooks. Avaria is doing a very good job of being cognizant of those, of Chromebooks, and being used on multiple platforms.
That would be fantastic if students could just create simple podcast-style audio straight off the Chromebooks.
See, I actually use Google. I use YouTube for that.
Okay.
I often use YouTube for that. And so I don't know where it is. If I imported a file, if I bring it in here. Oh, cool.
Mayor, one of the many computers I have in front of me right now, one of them is a Chromebook, and I have Aviary as part of an extension in the browser bar. So yes, it works.
That's great to know.
Yeah, so it looks like I can trim it up, transpose, solo track, repeat, mute, edit. So, I mean, right there, I just recorded it in there. Let's hit play. Kind of impressed with my computer being able to handle all of that. 2 audio things going on at once with the web-based stuff. It looks like I can bring in multiple tracks, import audio. So there you go, web-based audio editing. Cool. Any other challenges?
Hey, Gareth, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Gareth Evans is wondering if you can show some examples of click and dragging images.
Click and dragging images.
I'm not sure to what extent.
Gareth, you're in the Hangout. Do you want to unmute your audio and talk to me a little bit about what you're looking for that?
I'm looking to teach very basic English, and I'm just thinking that you have an image of a cat and a dog and a ball or something, and you say one is to the left of this and one is to the right of that, like have them all mixed up and then have the student sort of sort them out in order.
Okay, so you're actually going to be looking for some whiteboard software.
I guess so, yeah.
And close this. And there was one that I was just looking at. So I'm going to go into whiteboard. Hopefully I post something here. I think there was another one that I posted, someone posted recently. Oh, Edutopia, that was it. I think it's Edutopia. No. We were just talking about this on my podcast, so I think last week there is one there listed in the show notes. EduCreations. So EduCreations is very much like being able to create the Khan Academy videos with this. I'm not an expert at it. I just kind of learned about it very recently. But it's designed mostly for the iPad, but it also has a web-based application with it. So you can go into EduCreations and create those videos like you were thinking of. And I think Scriblink is another one where if you had some, you can actually use it almost as a whiteboard. So click here, draw this, 4 plus 3. This would be much easier if I had a Chromebook connected to some other type of pen, equals 7.
So you could upload photos right there too.
Did it have the photos?
Right in the middle.
Upload. So it looks like you can upload photos straight for this one too. I don't know if you can move things around. I'd have to take a look. I kind of know what you're looking for. I'm sure there is something out there. EduCreations may be able to help out some. EduCreations is more like a screen, record your screen type of a thing. So it's almost like a screen recorder, but it will capture what your movements are. So that's a great flipped classroom tool. I think before I go, because we're really ending up, the one last one I really want to mention is the school uses quite a bit, and that's for typing. which I'm at the end of. So Web 2.0. Because we had our keyboarding class and we were using a very old tool. So we moved and we're using Typing Web right now. So Typing Web is a web-based application for typing and testing typing. The free one will work quite nicely, BJ. Even the free version is nice. Because what it will do is it will actually give you can sign up all the teachers to it, or sign up all the students. So there can be central reporting. Doesn't help if you forgot your password. It's the end of the day. I don't have the reporting anymore. I gave that access to one of the other teachers anyway, so that wouldn't be able to show it. But my other teacher, when he logs in as the teacher of this course, can see all the stats. So how much time they've spent, what lessons they've completed, what their average was during those completions. So there was a lot that we were able to do right within. There you go. Begin. Right within here for getting reporting. I think there is a paid version where if you want to get rid of the advertisements, you can get rid of the advertisements, but the free version worked very well for testing and for coming in here. So and all that accuracy and all that work and the words per minute and everything else would get brought in to the would be able to be seen by the teacher.
Sorry, Bjorn. So
okay, so we got it's about 5. Go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick question about the Typing Web. With the free version, you could do the central reporting and all that?
Yes, as of this year you can.
Okay.
Last year you couldn't. This year I logged in and all of a sudden I could add students and get central reporting with the free version.
So the paid version is just to disable the adverts, I see. Okay, thanks for that.
Yep. And there's CAD software and many other software out there that is web-based. Okay, anything else in the stream?
I don't see anything else in the stream. Any other live questions you guys might like to ask before we take off?
Michael, I had a question for you from Google, or if you could just sort of put in a note that there are some schools who, where we don't have enough inertia to put up the money for like 10 Chromebooks and get the education deal, but there are a few people who are really geeked to get their hands on one. So if you can sort of put in a note with someone that there are educators that are interested in getting their hands on one as sort of a seed program, instead of having to go to Amazon and get the sort of inferior one with the different case and the different battery and the no management options for the future.
Sure.
That would be handy.
Yeah, if you'd like to reach out to our team just on the Chromebook website, and we can interact with you and get a little bit more information about your district and see if there's something we can do to help out, of course.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I also know there's some companies out there that will lend out like pilot projects of Chromebooks. And they've escaped my head where they've been, but there's been several of them out there. And do you know of any, Michael?
I know of some partners, but I need to have a little bit more information before we,
Yeah, there are, either way, if you're looking for that seed option, I know there's at least the option. You may have to search for what the companies are and talk to a few other people, or contact me afterward. Maybe I can find out who it was that was telling me about it.
There is Google partners out there that'll do that. I just can't really give out names in case I forget someone and then hurt some feelings.
Yes, I understand. Okay, any other questions?
Excellent. Well, that's it. I'll thank you, Bjorn, for putting on a great show, and thanks everyone for joining us, as well as the people that are going to be watching the live stream. And the recordings, they'll be available shortly, and you'll be able to access them and watch them again or do what you wish. And if you want to reach Bjorn directly, it's at edlisten.com.
Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.